Thank you very much for that. And the guitarists, by the way, were Enrico Renz and Lauren Nemeth. Thank you to them. That was lovely. So here are a few things you might want to know about our next person, J.J. Lee. Other than he's a lovely man. If you've ever gotten to know him, he's just fantastic. His family, his kids are amazing too. He's a former CBC broadcaster, and he writes about fashion, and mostly menswear, and he likes to talk about bow ties. For Elle Canada and the National Post, that's all good. He's the author of a critically acclaimed memoir, The Measure of Man, and if you haven't read that book, read that book. It's amazing. His first Christmas ghost story aired on CBC Radio last Christmas Eve, and we actually beat that out because Arts Council put on, during the parade, the Arts Council put on some music events, and we got JJ in and he read his ghost story there, so we actually beat out CBC. At his first science fiction story, it was published 4 weeks ago, and it's about a killer robot teddy bear. So I wanted to introduce J.J. Lee, a friend and colleague in this world of literature. J.J. Lee.
For a second there, I felt like there was Spinal Tap getting lost backstage there. There's a lot of fabric. I nearly got caught under the lure. Okay, I'm actually torn because I only have a certain amount of time tonight, obviously, and I was going to read you a story about killer toy teddy bears. Because I've been branching out and writing a lot of fiction these days, but another thing I've been doing is working at Joey's Video Stop on 12th, because I'm writing fiction now. And I thought I'd give you, who wants to hear about Joey's and the ideas that I've been doing? Okay, we'll go for it. I'm watching a lot of action films and a lot of pulp movies, right? Okay, let's go for it. In spy and thriller movies, in 19th century fables, in any kind of movie or story or book, there's a plot twist that is so common that it's considered a cliche, it's even kind of stupid. It involves the hero being saved from a deadly bullet by all sorts of things stored in a jacket, breast, pocket. One example is Ian Fleming's novel, From Russia with Love. In this 007 adventure, oh, by the way, I was going to read to you about this killer robot, but I'm not going to now, so just don't be confused by that. One example is in Ian Fleming's novel, From Russia with Love. In this 007 adventure, an assassin attempts to kill James Bond with a copy of War and Peace, and I don't mean by reading it. Hidden in the spine of Tolstoy's novel is a .25 caliber pistol. Now, you will not find this edition available in Canada, even at Amazon. But however, if you go to Walmart in the States, you might be able to find it. The low caliber bullet fails to penetrate 007's heart because it hits a silver cigarette case in his breast pocket, and it stops the bullet. It's not always a cigarette case in other stories, of course. You can have Bibles, pocket watches, even large coins have stopped bullets. But there's one thing that has never stopped a kill shot in movies or in books, and that is a pen. Pens are only good for doodles and writing words, and words are paper thin. Thin as air, thin as thought, gossamer. Yet with words, we have the keys to creation, vast worlds, secret gardens. With words, a reader can climb the most unforgiving peaks and tumble down into the luscious, softest, greenest valleys. Words can carve and uncover and dredge from deep stories, and we need them. We need them, all of us. 3 months ago, I started working at Joey's Video Store. And I'm not making this up, just in case you were wondering. I love working there, and it's a busy, busy shop. It attracts an interesting clientele. Some of them are Luddites. Some of them don't have credit cards. Some of our clients are really paranoid. And some just like porn. But here's what I figured out. People come into our shop seeking stories, not movies. Why else would we watch movies if it were not for stories? We're desperate for stories. Funny stories, scary stories, the violent one, and of course the sexy ones. We need stories as much as we need air, water, fire, and love. We need to tell stories as much as we need to hear them. Desperately so. People come into the shop and they always have a story to tell. And I think we crave this, especially at night, especially at Joey's, because the night story taps into our childhood experience of having a story read to us before bedtime. The televisions, the computers, the tablets, they're just stand-ins for our mother or our father, turning the cream-colored pages of a picture book over. And it makes that sound where the edge of the paper rubs against a sleeve or a pillowcase or the hem of your favorite blanket. It sounds like the crackle of beautifully baked bread crust. The night story brings us back to that time of home, safety, innocence. We would wish for it. In many ways, we take in these stories like children because we want to believe. It makes me think of a story I used to tell my twin boys, Jack and Emmett, when they were toddlers. Here it goes. One morning, the boys were very little, and we packed a bag with grilled cheese sandwiches, apples and oranges, and a bottle of water, and we walked up a hill. And at the top of the hill was a castle, and we wanted to see it. So up through the forest we went, and we saw raccoons, and we saw chipmunks, and we saw a cat with a mouse in its mouth. And then we came upon a stone wall, and I boosted them up over the wall. And on the other side, through a screen of trees, we saw the castle. And we started to walk towards it. And out of the brush, 3 Dobermans charged us. And we scrambled up 3 trees. And the Dobermans barked, and the boys started to cry. Then, one of the dogs said, "Don't be afraid. We only wanted to say hello." So I climbed down the tree, and I closed my left hand, and the dog sniffed it and started to lick it. And I told the boys to come on down. And they held out their hands, and the dogs started licking their hands. And then we played with the Dobermans for the rest of the day. The end.